So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans. Well, it's
Hello and welcome to the club. I am your great-grandfather Mars. I used to have a podcast in 2024. And that was hundreds of years ago. And I'm glad to be broadcasting to you from the future. I'm thankfully still alive somehow. Just a voice in a box. This is
tip of the hat, Mars!
That's Ben's voice in a box. Actually, no, Ben's out. Hold on. Let me finish my deal here. This is the Upper 90 Club. I'm your host, Mars. On this episode, we're going to review the Portland tie, our sixth in a row, if you don't count the extra time in Monterrey against Tigres. We're going to take a look at the lineups and kind of do our stock up, stock down segment. The internet was quiet this week, so we're going to have to make up for it here.
Our fault.
We will be posting a separate episode where we run through looking ahead to Monterrey, who we will play at home on Wednesday. And then we'll do...
throw another shrimp on the barbie.
We'll do our predict picks review. I'm glad to have Mort back. So real quick. So yeah, Ben is out. I think he was supposed to go to wrestling or something, but I think he's wrestling strep throat. I am still recovering from the flu from 3 weeks ago. Also with me in the club are Trey and Haas. And I mentioned Mort earlier. Say hey, guys.
Crikey.
Crikey.
Hello.
Hello.
So I also wanted to welcome Steven Moreira to the Upper 90 Club because his goal that we will discuss later was beautiful, and I felt remiss if I would not welcome him officially to the Upper 90 Club. So who all was at the game there against Portland over the weekend, guys?
Every single one of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we all went.
I mean, I wasn't.
Yeah,
you were.
Well, the ones that
Three
are
of
ones
us.
that are
the
here.
people being asked the question too. Yeah.
So, what's the atmosphere like these days? I mean, I feel like the schedule's kind of been, similar to the release schedule of Taylor Swift albums. I feel like, the people are getting a lot of a good thing. Is the energy keeping up?
Yeah.
So for my first game back since it was first game this year, so since the championship last year, and man, I can't tell you how much I miss it. It is infectious when you get in the stadium and it starts getting loud and the crowd reacts to everything. Yes, there is no fixture fatigue as it comes to the in-house crowd.
It's fun, and we're clearly going through kind of a culture change too. People are living it. They're not just there to just be at the game; they're in the game. And I was talking about that and during this game, actually looking over to and it was like at some point I saw 2/3 of the stands were like standing up, like at some point in the game where you said like that used to not happen to that degree unless it was a goal or something really big happening, but just being into the game.
We're getting 20,000 people at every game, aren't we? I'm thinking back to historic Crew, man. Those upper sections were empty.
Well, even in the first season or the Porter season, I mean, they probably said it was about 16,000, which means it is probably a little less than that. We didn't have sellouts, and no, this is. The good example to talk about is a shout out to Rex that was standing with us during the game, who is a listener, who is on the wait list to get into Nordic. There's people, passionate people want to be a part of it, and people can't even get in to some of those areas to want to be a part of. So I mean, there's definitely a high demand for the tickets, high demand to be a part of it.
And you were into the game, right? You guys made it up to the Mondotron.
Oh yeah, well, we're lucky enough that we sit in a place where they usually see us, and then we have usually like 4 or 5 kids sitting in a row, like on one of the front rows there. So they seem to always see us. So of course Finn got on the big screen, throwing his arms in the air, trying to get the crowd pumped up. It was fun. He thinks it's something special. That kid doesn't understand it.
Was he wearing a gorilla costume?
Might as well have.
Okay, that worked for me, and it was the highlight of my life. Oz, what about you? Were you in a gorilla costume?
No costume. It's just hanging out in the normal spot. I was able to give away some wristbands. I was able to meet up with Sarah, one of our listeners. She reached out on the Instagram. We were able to meet up, and I was able to give her some wristbands and some stickers. And then, like Mort had said, we hung out with Rex for at least a full half, maybe a little more. He came over and just hung out with us for a bit.
Are people rocking the wristbands?
I haven't noticed them personally, but I've given away a bunch of them. So,
do you think we need to diversify? I was thinking like anklets. Guys,
well, summer's coming
for summertime.
Yeah.
The
we could make like a Leagues Cup anklet.
So what? It's just slightly bigger than the wristband because it has to get around your foot and up your ankle.
Yeah, that's right.
I was thinking more like a.
I wish I wouldn't have reacted so I could have feigned ignorance. Okay, let's move on.
We'll just do rings. Just do rings, Morton. That'll work.
Okay.
Jeez. Speak for yourself.
Those are rings.
Go through the lineups of the Portland game.
For the Portland game, we had Yeboah, Cucho, and Rossi up top. Sands, Morris, Nagby, and Farsi across the middle. Amundsen, Camacho, and Morera in the back with Schulte in goal. Kind of surprising to see Farsi, Sands, and Yeboah all get the start at the same time.
Right.
They just had, at the beginning of the game, they had Yeboah just pushed up, playing up top, and then eventually he ended up as a wing back.
So what'd you guys think?
It didn't work. It didn't work, especially on the left side. I think it was Yeboah did not look like he was comfortable in that position. And it seems like kind of Sands and Yeboah was working in the same area a little bit. That's what it felt. I felt like Yeboah felt forced in that position. You didn't got the same dynamic on the front three where they kind of switch it up. He gets very static on that left side more, so you don't get the kind of that normal flow of the player on top. I didn't think
he's kind of suffocated up there, right?
It was kind of suffocated. Nothing didn't happen. And Sands didn't start very well. I'll say that he looked.
Are you saying Yeboah needs the width? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I like him. I think he needs to be
that.
in that position. You can't play. It sorted itself out a little bit, but I think you can probably only play one of them.
He needs to be able to run up and down the entire field, not just hang out up top.
Yeah, he was kind of hanging.
Sure.
He wasn't dynamic. He was kind of very static in the way he moved around, and that didn't seem like him at all.
But they were playing through Sands a lot. They were playing down that left side a bunch, and I knew you guys were going to say that he didn't play that well. I thought he played decently, considering some of the balls he was getting.
We got better when Sands got better.
Sure.
Like he started picking up the play a little bit, and he started being more aggressive. It looked like his confidence was growing. And he started to whipping some in, even with his left leg and with his right leg. And I think that was probably like second half of the first half, like we like to call it.
Yeah.
Then it started to get better. And before that, it was very static, and we tried to go down that side a lot, and it didn't really go anywhere. So I will argue that the first half an hour of this game is some of the worst soccer we played all year.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Absolutely not.
So,
No.
I mean,
you did watch Charlotte.
at home. How about that?
Well, yeah,
home.
in Charlotte, the referee was a big piece of that game.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Uncle
don't even
Ted
think about
was
that.
on display.
Yeah.
Unky.
Uncle Ted Uncle.
Oh, yeah.
Was on display at this game. I know that his
Reputation.
has been questioned.
The crowd knows him. The crowd knows him for sure.
So what'd you think? I mean, we thought Phil Neville looked a little jaundiced, and then he went and got himself a yellow card.
He was yelling at the
after
ref
that.
after like 2 minutes of the game, and then he got a talking to
I
at
didn't
4
get it.
minutes, and then he got a yellow card at 9 minutes or 9th or 10th minute. It was, I don't know what it was. It was nothing that happened on the field that was anything.
Yeah, and it wasn't his wardrobe. Chris Doran was fawning after Phil Neville, and at one point he broke to just really give like a Jay Peterman style description of his outfit, cream colored a quarter zip with a green vest emblazoned with like it was. I felt like they were gonna put up a QR for the catalog where you could like buy one. And then he got, it was around when he got the yellow card, but I don't know. Was refereeing a factor in this game? Do you think
it was probably not it was to a degree. It wasn't the deciding factor, but there was a lot to be agitated about. Small things, inconsistencies, miscalls, some blatant miscalls, like even like some throw-ins here and there that was just so obviously wrong. And I love it when you can get a little personal with the abuse too, because you can just go by Ted.
Yeah. Well, so in this game, what we saw was a stat they flashed up there, which would be a league specific stat, which was the goal that we gave up in the when was it?
The goal was in the 10th minute. It was scored by Mora. The Timbers have a throw-in from their defensive end, make a few passes, and it's dribbled through the midfield with a nice turn by Williamson. He plays the ball out wide right to Moreno, who gives it back to Williamson just outside the box, takes 2 touches, passes forward to Mora, who gets between Moreira and Camacho. I think they were kind of switching who was taking him on his run. He slows down just enough and shoots behind a sliding Camacho. Schulte can't get to it. It's like such a slow, trickling shot. And it's the first goal allowed by the Crew prior to the 44th minute this season.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at, was what we saw was an early goal, and that was kind of new. Except, of course, for that really early goal.
I was about to say.
In Monterrey, but
Champions
that's
Cup.
why I think the stat was for league games. So yeah, that was a drag. But I mean, we've gone behind or given up a goal first before. So I don't know. I wasn't too concerned about the goal. Everyone here was expecting the Crew to score 3. So we were. I don't know. I felt like we were going to do okay.
Yeah,
it's a nice feeling. To like, you get scored on and it's like, oh, there's so much time left in the game. Like, you don't always feel that way with the team, but with this current team, it's like plenty of time for us to figure things out and make something happen.
Yeah, it just seems like it. Yeah, we have plenty of time. It's a matter of time, and we know it's going to happen. And it was, but maybe not as much as we were hoping.
Sorry, I'm here for business. Discord Echo, it's Discord Echo, it's Discord Echo, it's Discord Echo.
Discord.gg/crew96.
That's discord.gg/crew96. Join today.
So I think the next big thing that happened was the first of a couple beautiful service balls from Amundsen, a la the MLS Cup final kind of display where we got a running Cucho on, trying to beat the offside. In the 26th minute, he was caught, about a foot off. But beautiful service and scored a beautiful goal. I don't know. I could watch that all day, but I don't know, they had to get it figured out.
Watching that one live, I was where I stand. I'm like almost kind of even with it, not quite. And I at first was just like, he's off. Like, he's definitely off. Before he even got to the ball, I thought he was off. And then rewatching the game, it was like, that was a lot closer than I realized.
Really close. I'm not going to harp on whether he was off or on, but I just wish Apple would figure it out to get some sort of line technology, cameras in the stadiums to give us better angles so that they can actually make the calls.
Yeah.
Like
the angle they showed on the broadcast was convincing enough for me. Like he looked like he had a foot offside. But I mean, when you rewatch it, this one and the one in the 44th minute, it's like the exact same kind of setup. Amundsen's just watching him make that run and bombing the ball. It's really like we need to get Amundsen a monitor that he could watch before he's. It's like, we're depending on his depth perception because it's a very well designed play. And
yeah,
it
but
was just a matter of.
We kind of switched it up because people are expecting that ball when it's kind of the cut in. When it from the wide, like when Yeboah or Sands cutting in like that, and that's when they try and hit it. A lot of people read that now. It stopped. This one came kind of a little bit of a different. It was still Amundsen over the top, but it's not exactly the same as when you play Yeboah over, because sometimes we force that play a little bit. You've seen that pattern now that we tried a lot, and the other team like, okay, here comes that ball we've seen 15 times the highlights of. So that one is slightly different because I think he cuts more directly through. He doesn't come like extremely wide and in, right, on those runs.
Yeah.
It's more of an inside out versus an outside in kind of run.
Yeah.
So that's the differentiator there. But Amundsen on those balls, he is dangerous. But we had that one. We had that chance that was very similar where he couldn't put it in the goal.
Oh, Rossi almost put the one in off the corner.
And then we had Farsi off the post.
Yeah, and Farsi off the
And I didn't know he could. I didn't know he was capable of shooting.
I thought that ball was going to be 3 feet wide, and he put it in a wonderful location. He just needed 6 inches to the right, and that ball's in.
Yeah,
well, he's playing so far forward.
Yeah.
I mean, I was screaming about it on the game where Rossi cleaned it up. Where the ball just trickled through to him after Farsi messed it up. And he's up in the attacking third a lot. Maybe more often than he should be, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that took us to the half. And it was 1-0 at half, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, and then coming out of half, somebody was subbed. Russell Rowe came in.
For Sands.
Was he hurt? Did he get...
I just don't think
he had
really,
the head.
Like,
he went...
Yeah, I thought he had like a little knock and then...
I think it was more...
That was like
I think it's more...
10 minutes before the half or something.
I think it was more tactical. Because like I said, it was too many chefs kind of on that side. And I would say, you can say, did he play statistically good or not? But I think Russell Rowe coming in there actually made a difference. And compared to what I've been saying the last couple of weeks, I think that's very true. It's changed our dynamic on up front.
So then
I think it was a good sub.
Cucho found himself in the perfect position with a lot of really good service in the 51st minute to score our first goal. Hawes, talk through that one.
I had a hard time deciding where to start writing this one after rewatching it because
as you always do, I know.
we had so much possession leading up to this.
Cucho Hernandez was born on April 20th,
In Medellin, Colombia.
1999.
So
Yeah.
there's a moment where after we have some possession, Farsi beats Bravo on the right side and plays a threatening ball in that just misses Cucho, but the crew are able to retain possession. Nagby plays a ball forward to Rossi. He drops the ball to Moreira, fakes it wide to Farsi, plays into Morris. Morris plays out wide to Farsi, who's again one-on-one up against Bravo. He plays a nifty little ground pass with the outside of his foot, past Bravo into the box to a wide-open Rossi, who has done like a little loop-de-loop run and cut back on him. Nobody was on him. Right around the 6-yard box, he cuts the ball back towards the penalty spot where Cucho runs onto it and shoots with his right foot, first touch, left side of the net to the
And
keeper's
it's
right.
happy birthday, Cucho.
Happy birthday. Yep. No, it was a lot of intricate play leading up to that, and it was in a phase where we're creating a lot too. But one critical thing is we got down to that byline where we want to. We don't like the big crosses, but we like to get down to the end line right around there. We can just
Man, that ball
hit
in the
it back 45 degrees.
Yeah.
And Rossi did that a few times in this game. And he got in some good positions, especially in second half. He got deep like that.
We also almost drained that corner earlier. Yeah. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, Rossi in the first half, from our angle, that ball was going in.
I think it was going in.
100% that ball was going in. The goalie made actually a good save in the end there and got out the corner. So
he was looking good.
Stock up.
Well, hold on.
We'll get
Don't
there.
give away what you can sell, Mark. We gotta let our sponsors talk first. Okay. So then Moreno scored for Portland about 5 minutes later. You want to talk through that one?
Yep. So while you were talking about Russell Rowe having some good moments, this was probably his worst moment of the game. The crew have just won the ball back, and the ball gets played to Jason Russell Rowe. He plays a ball to the middle of the field, and there's literally not a crew player in sight, like just all green jerseys. Portland plays the ball out wide to the left to Rodriguez. He turns, dribbles, plays a ball to Ferreira, who's between the midfield and the back line. Camacho steps, falls down. The ball kind of rolls through and doesn't hit anybody. Moreira then falls over Camacho on the ground.
Yeah.
Key to circus music.
Oh yeah, Ben would say Benny Hill, right?
Yes.
Okay, I can do them both. Don't worry.
So the ball is in the box. Mora gets on it. He cuts it back, drops to Ferreira. He plays the ball forward on the ground to Moreno, who pops the ball up with his right foot, shoots with his left past Schulte.
Yeah. So a little bit about that goal. That goal didn't happen. I didn't know it would happen. I had no idea. So I was over there by you, celebrating the goal, knocking over your wife's bourbon out of her glass, like I always do when I'm nearby her when we score. And she's always just as happy. There you go, Daly. And then I go to the restroom, come back, talk to you guys some more.
Of course, you gotta go to the bathroom.
Yep.
Always gotta go to the bathroom.
Yep. Then I go to the line to buy Finn a pretzel because I'm waiting for the line. Then I'm standing in line, I'm looking up at the score, and I'm realizing we're down 2-1. And I come back, it's like, what the hell happened? I had no idea. That was probably like
Really,
it was
really sounds like all the people are really into the game. Or
5 minutes later.
like you were saying.
People in the pretzel line didn't care. Clearly.
Well, yeah. So I remember. I think I even said I was like, oh, Ben is thinking Benny Hill now. It was totally a fiasco there from Russell Rowe. Okay, and then we were able to equalize. What as later 74th minute.
Yep.
This is what I mentioned earlier. God.
I mean, after that
surprising
goal,
and beautiful.
Yeah, but after that goal, before getting the house, we were putting on the pressure, and how we didn't score between their goal and the goal we finally scored there should have been probably 3 goals in that 20 minutes or between those two, just multiple big chances and probably a penalty as well.
Do we want to talk about that before the goal? Or
Well, the penalty happened, but way before their goal even.
it was the 54th, and they
that was
scored in the
54.
57th.
That's true.
I mean, essentially, they're shoulder to shoulder, a little bit of tugging back and forth each way, but it seemed like most of the tugging was Chara pulling down.
Chara put both his hands above his arm and
He was pulling him all right.
and pulled him down. I mean, it was I went in there straight before the podcast and looked at it again, and I said, "How is this not even going to Ted Uncle to review?"
I don't know why it wasn't
They said it
reviewed. I
reviewed.
mean, that ball is straight up in the air. Rossi does the right thing and actually plays it off his back towards Cucho's area. And as Cucho's running towards it, another Team Tuckett player grabs him by the arm and just, I mean...
It makes
don't
me
know.
think of Mo Salah in the Champions League final a few years back when they pulled
Yeah,
his shoulder
that's
out
the
of the socket.
Chiellini tackle. Yeah. Chiellini came in and tackled Mo Salah.
That was the
took him out.
Chiellini. It was the Real Madrid guy.
Oh, it was
I don't know.
Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was totally Sergio Ramos. Same kind of thing where it just pulls him down almost.
But it seemed like Cucho had a little bit of Chara as well. It wasn't just Chara.
Yeah, but there's a difference. There's like being on the line and going over the
I mean,
line.
it's go both ways. Otherwise, it's just not mutual. But
It's like I was poking you and then you were punching my face. I mean,
We've got to just scrap all this.
It's like the reactions I had when I was in middle school, where I would get teased and then react violently to my friends.
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
But and the funny thing, right after that, Rossi get the ball and he dribbles like 4 people and almost make the goal of the year there too. Like
Yeah,
pretty close to get to the byline. Good save in the end.
well,
But I still don't understand why that's not reviewed. But that was actually not the decision that got most people really wound up. It was when the refereeing. There was more of those other ridiculous calls later on in the game.
right. All right. Well,
So-
74th. Yeah.
Jumping back
I guess
to
we
the
have to mention
74th.
it. It's all right.
The crew are building slowly out of the back. Pass up to Cucho, about 30 yards out. He kind of stumbles over the ball as he's getting challenged, but he's able to keep possession. Passes to Jason Russell Rowe, who immediately loses the ball. I think he's tackled by like 2 defenders at once.
Hey, I
he
was
didn't have
saying
much
so many
time.
good things. I was trying to say good things to Russell Rowe.
No,
and every time you open
I'm-
your mouth, it's like
I'm trying to say, like, he didn't really have anything else he could do with it. He was played into a spot where there was nothing he could do. Nonetheless, Amundsen is able to win the ball back immediately, and it goes wide to Yeboah on the left. He drops it to Morris. Morris bypasses passing it to Nagby and goes straight to Morera. Kind of squares it across the field to him. Takes one touch with his right, winds up and blasts it with his right from at least 30 yards out. Across the goal, into the upper 90, just underneath the bar. What a beaut.
yeah. You can't get much closer
No.
to a perfect up to 90 than that. I mean, without missing it. To put it that way.
Without it being.
I have a poor guy next to me that I talked to a couple of times. He sits on the right side of me, and I literally jumped on his back. Poor guy. The Daly wasn't. I couldn't knock Daly's drink out, so I jumped on the
I hope
next
he's
best
not
thing,
injured.
which was.
Because now you got evidence here.
I was like, I'm sorry. I think I left.
An admission.
I might have left claw marks on his back. I was like, I'm sorry. I climbed on your back.
Yeah.
I just got a little excited right there. That was. Oh my
Yeah.
lord! That was such a good hit. What a great.
Herrera earns team of the match day for match day, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different for Miami. They're on like their 15th or 16th week. Yeah, it was a great goal. Great goal. Hey, so something I had a note on that I forgot to mention earlier as long as we're jumping around. Did you see that Yeboah took a free kick? They had they had Yeboah, Cucho, and Rossi lined up on it. I think it was maybe even in the first half.
First half on the right side.
The right side. I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
He can. The thing is, there was kind of like he's going for power, and Yeboah can put some power behind that ball, and it ricocheted off the goalie to a corner kick. So it was interesting that he actually could take one.
It's just I thought of that because we're just seeing so many people getting chances, taking chances. Nagby's good for one every couple months. Goals, that is.
Oh, I thought he was going to have one in this game.
I did too.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's good to see. As somebody said earlier, we should have had so many more goals. Not least of which at the waning moments of this game with the free kick from Cucho.
Yeah, but not to mention
hard.
Yeah, we could have gone the other way too. Sorry. It could have gone the other way too if it wasn't for a reactive Schulte. After Asprilla somehow managed to get by 3 of our players on the left wing, get it laid off, and this guy shoots it near post, and Schulte goes down and have maybe the save of the game. And I think that was maybe like in the 88th minute or something like that. It was pretty close to the end. So it was one of those where they almost did a smash and grab in this game. This was pretty much a smash and grab, just getting 1 point for Portland in this game, all said and done. They were happy going there with a tie. But and I looked up there that the league record for consecutive ties. Any guesses? Probably 8 by Porter. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up here.
I would go 10.
I was going to say 11.
All right. Well, let's take a break now. When we come back, you'll get that answer.
Oh, cliffhanger!
We'll be right back.
We're so back, baby. Greater Columbus Golden Boys and Girls memberships are on sale now, starting at just $20. You'll receive a GCG bag member tag, sticker sheet, 10% off all supporter supply clothing and exclusive GCG swag, and most importantly, half of your membership dues go to support community, refugee, and immigration services, our longtime philanthropic partner. Take your lad upping to the next level. Join GCG Bag today. Head to gcgbag.com/member. That's gcgbag.com/member.
All right, we're back. The answer.
Yeah, tell us, Dad.
The answer is
Price is Right rules. Oh,
6.
We all lose.
6.
And there were 3 instances. The Fire did it in 14. The Rapids did it in 11. And San Jose did it in 04. We're not listed here. And I guess it's because either it's league games.
That's league games for sure.
Which technically we still have a streak going, right?
Yeah,
4?
we have 4. 6 games if we include the Tigers games.
Yeah. So anyway, we're kind of at that mark. We'll see how things progress. So let's jump back. The last thing we're going to talk about from run of play was that set piece from Cucho at the very end of the game, and that will set up our Circ stat bunny ears on that one. It's more of a quote. Let's do that now.
This is Steve Cirque, and this is a Cirque stat.
Steve Cirque writes, I am still marveling at that last-second free kick. A fraction of an inch to the left, it hits the post and goes in. A fraction of an inch to the right, it hits the post, bounces off the goalie's back, and goes in. It hit in the exact perfect spot to not go in. Crazy. Hashtag Crew96.
Hashtag not really a stat. That second scenario, I mean, if it goes to the one side, yeah, it just doesn't go in.
Yep.
Or it just goes in, right? We know that. If it goes to the other side, it's a little Rube Goldberg to play out all the physics of like whether it would do the Mark Sanchez butt fumble.
Right.
But
I mean, it was so close to hitting the keeper's back or arm, back of his arm.
The goalie had clearly sacrificed like a goat to the post gods or something like that, because in the first half he has that one from Farsi that just lands in his hands as he's turning around. And here it's like right in between it. He can probably feel it on his tush, to put it that way. Like as he's flying by and almost goes on the
breeze.
In the other,
I don't know if you can
feel the breeze by the breeze.
Balls on his tush, but
yeah.
It was all of the emotions at one point for me. Like it was like it's that build up climax of the game, like coming to an end on the winning free kick. Like you see it happening. And it just was like, yeah, and just anticlimactic died.
And then I was second guessing, like, did that ball go behind the keeper?
Right.
How is that even possible?
It was just all the emotions.
And Morris almost gets on the other end of it before the whistle blows.
It blows on a corner kick too, which I love as well. But I would say you mentioned all the draws we've been having. A lot of them feels very different, though. First of all, a lot of them we come back.
Right.
Some of them we're playing with crew 2 players, pretty much.
Some of them.
Yeah, it's a way.
How did we make it this far vibe. And not mention that our favorite player, Phil Quinton, was traded?
Well, I'll talk about that in a little bit. His stock is down. Let's just put it that way, okay? All right.
Big bird.
We sold.
Yesterday.
Stock is up in the Rockies, though.
His stock is
west of the Rockies.
West of the Rockies. He fits in out there.
Okay, so
we're not going to be salty about it.
Yeah, that was just an unbelievable circumstance. It was the birthday cake, had the 25 candles on it.
Oh.
And it just tripped on the way to the table, and
it's the trick candles.
It was a drag, man. I just couldn't believe I had. Okay, so I don't remember the exact sequence of events, but I was watching a little delayed, and the result was spoiled for me a few minutes before the end of the game.
Oh,
and it would have been easy to just shut it off because it was 2-2 for a while, and I watched it out, and that made it worse. You know, seeing it like
I know he's gonna miss it. I know he's gonna miss this.
Yeah. Oh man. So anyway, okay. So let's go around real quick and talk player stock. I think what we'll do for this, we don't want to go through every player, but let's just go around here and have each one of you pick a player whose stock's gone up, who's gone down in the last week or two. And let's start with you, Mort.
Wow, you're putting me a little bit on the spot. I was kind of thinking about this for a second. But I did mention already Russell Rowe. And, I've been kind of harsh on him in some last weeks here, but I think him coming in and it changed the dynamic of our offense. And we got much more dangerous with him in there. And it's clearly that either him or somebody else that's similar coming in there makes our offense so much better. So even if he doesn't necessarily like blow anybody away with his skill and finesse, or whatever you want to call it, I think he actually helped changing this game to the better.
So then shout to Nancy for making that change, because he's, at least last season was just so famous for late subs or no subs. So the halftime sub is pretty uncommon unless there's an injury from him.
Correct. Yep.
And
it was before the 86th minute too. It's usually when the subs are coming.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So then who's down for you?
Down for me, it's a little tricky one. I was tempted to say, well, I was going to say Sands. I'm not going to say Sands because I was kind of down on him already. Maybe Nagby a little bit. in the last couple of games, but he's consistent. But yeah, it's hard to say that.
Wow.
But I will
Mort
actually go
hates
with
the
Camacho.
crew.
No, I have to pick a stuck down, and I will end up with Camacho. You know why? Because
of Trey's
Good
reaction.
Lord.
To the Nagby take.
because
I like the size of your balls picking Nagby there, but good Lord.
No, because of Chaburko's because of Chaburko's performances in the last couple of games have been really, really good. And Camacho almost cost us a goal before he actually kind of saved it again with his head right after. He had like a horrible kind of clearance right out to like a player that was coming in the first half, and they almost scored on us after, I think it was only like 15, 20 minutes in. We could have been down 2-0. And but he saved it with his head. It didn't play bad, but just the fact that I've really liked Chaburko in that position lately, I will say maybe stuck down to Camacho.
Okay. What about you, Trey?
Interesting.
Sounds like you got some opinions.
Just based on Mort's answers to things.
Mort's stock is down. Is that what you're saying?
My stock is down.
I want to take.
Hey, I have said this already. I'm better when I'm gone. I'm more interesting to people when I'm gone than when I'm here.
So animated. When you're
Okay,
gone.
so I need to take an audible to this question, and it may be 2 answers. We'll see how it goes. So for the last year and a half, it's been bothering me. So my stock up has to be for Bezbachenko finally trading Phil Quinton. And I'm just going to take it. It is what it is. I don't hate the guy. I wish him well. He's a professional athlete.
So your stock used to be down a Bez, huh? Is that what you
No,
said?
that's the beauty of this thing is it can go up from being up.
And up.
If it isn't
He's already up,
Bezbachenko,
like,
if it
uppity
isn't
up.
it's like
Bezbachenko,
NVIDIA. Yep.
yeah, exactly. We just keep rolling. If it isn't Bezbachenko, it's going to be Cucho for me. The man just keeps doing things that it's incredible. We haven't seen it. I don't think we've ever had a player like this. Lucas wasn't this good. I don't want to be sacrilegious, but Scaletta wasn't this good. Different players, but Cucho does things, and he's continuing to do it, and it's amazing.
And he seemed more like himself in this game. He wasn't overly fired up or grumpy or angry or anything. He was just where he normally is when he's on his best.
He was on a level.
I agree.
We didn't have anyone sitting out for red card this game. We finally
first
aged
in a
out
while.
of
Right.
our red card purgatory. Yeah. Okay.
So-
and then who's down, Trey?
It's tough. I'm going to go. This is maybe a cop out, but I'm going to say the entire back line. We got to stop leaking goals. And I don't want to hate on Moreira. Moreira scored that phenomenal goal. Camacho played decent. Chaburko played decent. But it's that defense has got to pick it up.
Did it look like we went up to back 4 in the end, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, when Zawadzki came in and they did they push Amundsen up left or whatever?
Yeah, they put Chaburko and Zawadzki in, and they put Amundsen out, and then it was I think it was the back.
So, I mean, I don't think anybody played horrendous. I don't want to pick on Sands. I do think he had an injury at the end of the first half. So I'm going to give it to our defense. I think our stock down, our defense, we got to be better. We can't be letting 2 goals in, especially those goals.
All right. Haas, what about you?
I'll keep mine brief because my answers were both taken. So I was thinking, as kind of silly and goofy as it is, to be stock up on Cucho because he played with a level head. He wasn't too much. He played well.
Yeah.
Love it. And stock down was Camacho.
Okay.
It is only his second game back from injury, so I'll give him some benefit of the doubt. And it's not a huge stock down, but he just had some moments where the moment when they scored, he went shoulder to shoulder and somehow he fell from going up. Like, he was the one who charged in and he fell. That caused Moreira to then fall over him. And then there were a few misses he had where it seemed like he should have been in position to get a header and he just completely misses the ball. But I'm not overly concerned about it. I think he'll be fine. That's where I'm at.
I like where you're at.
Okay.
It's kind of an unfair thing to do because we're talking about like Morris again. Phenomenal. His stock is already so high. I mean, oh my Lord, he's
really good.
He's playing at
Real
such
good.
a high level. He's playing with a level of almost like arrogance now, where he knows he's good and he's almost playing a little bit better than most people there in the midfield. It's fun to watch. We talked about Cucho been playing like a little bit on a different level. Morris is playing ball on a different level than a lot of people in this league.
He had 14 passes into the final third in that match alone. 4 of 4 accurate long balls, 106 touches.
How many balls
6
did
of
he
6
win?
tackles won.
Yeah.
He according to, I didn't see the MLS one, but according to FOTMob, man of the match with an 8.8 rating.
Yeah. The way he just wins the ball, he's ruthless. So,
Yeah,
but
he's
his stock
definitely
is
better
always
than
up.
Nagby for sure.
Yeah. Right now he is.
Hi, my name's Morton.
Always has been,
Welcome to the
always will be.
podcast.
Hey, Nagby is my favorite player. Leave me alone.
Hey, he's got to learn it from somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do students become the master?
Those guys take so many fouls, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
They're very their press
how-
resistance is insane. It is
Yeah.
to be able to take that much contact and not cough it up and still be able to play whatever dink pass to relieve the pressure. It's insane.
And just to be able to get their bodies in the right position to know that a foul is going to come through them and take them out.
Yeah.
Not flopping, but
Yep.
getting in the right position.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's break here, and when we come back, we'll get into the predict picks. Just quickly, we did mention that we talked to who we talked to, Trey? You were on that call. I was not. Somebody from Monterey.
We talked
Just
to
some random person.
Eddie Razzo, who does a Monterey podcast. And that is who we talked. Eduardo.
So we're going to
Razzo.
post that conversation, and we went deep on that. So for any Monterey look ahead type discussion, it'll be in that episode, which will post separate here in the next. It's probably already up by the time you're hearing this. So let's break here, and we'll do our predictions. We'll be right back.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
All right, we're back. So we don't have a Crew 2 update, do we?
Just that they lost 2-0.
Missed you, bird. That's what Ben would have said. Hold on, no. Ben would have said, God, I don't know. What accent does he have? I can't.
They're all Australian.
Ben's accent, his personal accent.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
I should
Nothing
never do an
matters.
accent, anyways. I can barely do it.
Why do you do it? Why do you do
I try not to.
That's the running joke, is that it is really you making an
I
accent.
will try not to do an accent.
All right.
American.
Okay. Before we get into the predicts, let's have Haas run through the tables.
Tables. Just tables. 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 I can't know how to hear any more about tables.
So in the East, we've got Inter Miami in first, 10 games played, 18 points. New York Red Bull in second, 9 games played, 16 points. FC Cincinnati in third with 15 points. The Crew are in fourth with 14 points. Toronto and Philly with 13, fifth and sixth. Then we jump down a little bit to our opponent this coming weekend in MLS League play, CF Montreal. They are in 10th place with 11 points, 3 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses.
The fighting clubbed foot. So we dropped what, a couple spots? It's kind of spreading out a little.
Yeah, but I mean, what happens is their competition is pretty tight. So even when you have a tie, I mean, we have to win some games again. Let's be real, but it hasn't really hurt us really in the standing because it's pretty tight in the East. So, I mean, we're right there in the mix. The only one that have a little bit separated himself a little bit now right now is probably Miami and New York Red Bull.
Well,
I am
Philly,
so annoyed by the Miami having an extra game played.
And
it's so
just to
annoyed by
add to that annoyance, Philly has only played 7 games. They are yet to lose and have 13 points. So they're 2 games behind us, 3 games behind Miami.
Wow.
They could make some moves here.
I noticed actually when you go into Apple and the season pass and they have the table, they list how many wins and the goal difference, but they don't
Games
summarize
played.
how many games played. And Miami's on top. I think that's pretty funny.
Do you guys think that they're too focused on the money?
No.
Do you guys think that they're thinking about money?
No, I'm not thinking about money.
Okay, so what about our prediction table?
So, hey, wait, hold on. We're just going to dive into this game. We're just going to go right to the weekend. It's like Wednesday doesn't happen. It's possibly one of the biggest games for the Columbus Crew. It happens when you're listening to this tomorrow night, probably. And we're just going to glaze by it.
Don't try to do that. I've tried to do that.
I'm trying to do this. I'm trying. I'm not saying I'm succeeding, but I'm trying.
I'm just saying, describing a time where you're recording one time, describing another time in the future.
If you listen to this, next year and you knew the result when we won, this is not relevant.
No, but you're right.
Today.
You're right. No, so let's
you want to do the prediction? I just want to make sure we get back to it.
Let's talk about the Monterey. We can talk about it now.
All right.
Monterey game on Wednesday. Just the weight of that game. I mean, to me, if we win the game, it's not as important as winning MLS Cup last December.
No.
Do you disagree?
I don't disagree, but we're not in
win MLS Cup.
Yeah, we won't be here exactly. But we are not in December. We are in April and we have a chance.
And it's not a title match, but it is it's a progressively more significant, important game.
It's the first time in club history that we've ever made it this far, whether it was CONCACAF Champions League or Champions Cup, no matter the namesake.
There's a chance for us here to play in the club's World Cup here in the United States. You know what that means? That means Crew fans can travel and go to a game and cheer for your Crew playing other premier teams from all over the world. You could
but the Crew hosted Stoke City like 12 years ago.
We were hosting Aston Villa this summer.
Peter, what's his name? Peter Crouch?
Crouch.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
other games.
he's Quentin,
have been
Philip
up there.
Quentin's dad, if you didn't know that.
True.
Wednesday night,
I'm joking. Yeah, go ahead.
8:15 p.m. home match. Speaking of attendance this year, earlier I wanted to kind of mention, like, we'll see what Wednesday looks like.
Now
We've
I'm
had
kind
really
of
good
curious.
MLS match attendance. These midweek games, especially an 8:15 p.m. kickoff. We'll see what it looks like.
I have seen them in offering food and
Yeah,
things like
food
that, including with the
packages.
food package with the
Red
tickets.
flag.
That's a red flag on attendance. So
Cucho wants everyone to wear yellow.
So we're supposed to wear yellow in this game.
And I just wanted to mention we've played Monterrey twice in CONCACAF Champions League in 2021. We drew at home and lost 3-0 away.
Yep.
Those are the only two times we've ever played them.
I think we said this about the previous game. I think this team is a slight step up from Tigres, even though, on a good day, I think they can be very competitive, both of them. But we have to try to get some goals at home.
Luckily, they have as much schedule congestion as we do.
They do.
So it's not like the whole, Houston thing where we were playing them and they had a week off and
Right.
To some extent, they have one game left in their season.
But then
then their season is done.
No, they go into a playoff. Like it's a playoff format.
Oh, there's a playoff.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see the...
So
Okay.
they're actually they're getting into the meat of
But
of
Mars,
the championship for.
But Mars, to your point, if you want to go in deep on that, you can switch to the podcast. What was that? Do we have anything we can throw out there so people to find
Eduardo
it? We will shoot a
Sazo
link out.
Is who we recorded with. No, I got
You'll
nothing.
see the links on
Podcast
the
is
socials.
called Monterrey All Day, and I just made that up. But we will shoot a link.
You did?
Captain
would you do that?
Monterey Jack all day.
Okay. All right. Cool, guys. And we will talk about this game, the Wednesday game, next week.
Yes.
All right. So let's get into the predictions table, and then we'll lay out our predictions for the Montreal game this weekend.
As discussed in the last game, we tied the Portland Timbers 2-2 at home. Everybody on the pod had us winning, so nobody could actually achieve a full 3-point score. However, both Trey and I believe that we're going to win 2-0, so we get 1 point for the correct number of crew goals. Congratulations to you, Trey. Good job. That means the prediction
Congratulations to you,
table
Mort.
is as no, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's as
Thank you very
follows.
much.
We got Mars and Trey on in second place with totals of 6 points. Ben is in fourth place with the 5 points. I am still in the basement, but cut the difference a little bit with Ben there. And Haas is in the lead with 8 points, dominating.
All right, let's talk about D's next
I don't know.
games.
I thought I
You got to
was.
think about that.
I'm already sweating.
Man, I don't even know. Like,
Buckle up, Buttercup.
My tongue is sweating.
I'm not good at doing things.
You're dumb.
All right.
Look at that.
Yeah, looks like we got a good variety here. So Ben texted me, and he said, "Do the handbars." There was more. What did he say? Hold on a second. He said, 1-1 draw. And when I asked him if there was anything else he wanted to say, he said,
Tip of the hat, Mars. Is that what he said?
"Thanks, Trey." Yeah, I think that's what he said. Okay. Mort, you said 2-1 crew.
Yeah, this one is tough because we have that Wednesday game, and Montreal is all over the page. But one thing they look like they're doing is scoring goals.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I am sure about that. Because they played a 4-3 game against Chicago away.
And then their previous 2 games before that, they scored no goals in both games. 1-0 and 5-0.
Oh, you know what? I was looking at pictures. I was looking at pictures back in March. Damn it! Well, they're only going to score 1 goal in this one, and we're going to score 2 goals in this one, and that's what I think.
Okay, 2-1.
Yep.
Trey, you said 2-0.
I
That's
did.
a different score. Anything you want to say about that?
Well, it's going to be 2-0.
Do you think that your nothing is related to the recent results that Montreal's put up?
Yes.
I've been told that they've gone at least 180 minutes without scoring a goal.
That was in March, I think. Or did I read that wrong?
Yeah, they just tied Orlando 2-2, and they beat Cincinnati 2-1.
And then lost 5-0 to Seattle and 1-0 to DC.
Yes.
And 4-3 to Chicago.
Yes, that's
all
true.
away.
So
the 3 losses were away.
My thinking was I gave
They also
stock
beat
down
Miami
to our defense,
away.
so I thought we're going to have a clean sheet.
I don't have a good understanding of.
I don't know what's going on.
You're dumb.
Yeah, Montreal is all over the place. If you're looking at
Here's what I know.
Their record
The
this year,
Columbus
this is
Crew in
like
the last
non-C.
20
This is
games.
non-C early for Crew. That's what I got to say.
Listen to this. 20 games at home. The last 20 games, the Crew are 15-0-5. 15 wins, no losses, 5 draws. So I think we're going to win, and I think it'll be 2-0.
Okay, great. Haas, you said 3-1? Is that right?
3-1 Crew win. And that is based on the 4 goals scored by Chicago, the 5 goals scored by Seattle, and the fact that Montreal can score sometimes. So,
okay,
that's where I'm at.
They may or may not.
Sophisticator.
I said 3-2. That's a different score.
Because sometimes they can score more than 1.
I'm thinking they could score as many as 1 more.
So I looked at the March results. Historically speaking.
I'm just happy I'm looking at the right year at this point.
Did we get any correct predictions from listeners last week?
I couldn't find any.
No.
Did you look though? Or?
Man, listeners started really hot this year. I think we had 2 people two correct scores after 2 rounds, and we were like, "Wow, they're really gonna. This jersey is gonna go quickly." And then after that, it'd been.
Yeah,
that's a sophisticated way to put it.
Yeah, your accent really came through on that.
Yeah,
it was a Norwegian.
That's Norwegian for poorly.
No, we did have somebody get it right. Sudek guessed 2-2.
All right.
On Twitter?
Nice.
Yes, on X.
I must have missed that.
Somebody's catching on to the.
And it wasn't after the goals, the game finished?
I don't know. I've not.
You got to check those after the game finished, people. They're always lurking.
Whoever does our Twitter account or X account, definitely replied to it with a goofy looking wiener dog type thing.
Sounds like a far weather fan.
Yeah, that guy doesn't do anything.
But good call.
Yeah. So we did have one. I am not sure if that specific person has any other correct predictions before this game, though.
We got to do some digging and retallying, so that'll be happening in the near future to get us all square.
All the way back to March.
Yeah, I think we'll use some way to calculate it.
You can't tell
a billiards table or a abacus or something. We'll figure it out.
I'll ask
figure
Chad.
It out and report back.
I'll ask Chad.
Yeah,
Chad GTP. That's my buddy.
You always say GTP. Is that just like the Swiss cow of?
Are you also saying Chad with a D?
I said Chad with a D. It's a buddy of mine. We'll have him look it up.
GTP.
Yeah, GTP will look it up.
It's the Swiss cow. It just won't use any profanity in its responses.
That's what he's using. That's why he doesn't find anything.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So we've got another 2-game week. We'll be back.
We call that back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. We had 1 week where we only played on the weekends, but we're back to our normal 2024 schedule of a game every day. And these are all home, right? We were home against Portland, home against Monterrey for this leg, and then home against Montreal.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of home games, and in May we have 3 away games on the fly. So it's catching up with us next month.
Okay.
I verified Sudeka's post was at 1:20 p.m. on Saturday, so we're in the clear.
All right. Congratulations. Okay, guys. Well, sounds good. Looking forward to the Monterrey game, and then we'll see how we do against the prodigal son Courtois. He makes his grand return to Columbus. So we'll see how we do against Monterrey on Wednesday, and then when the prodigal son Courtois makes his grand return to Columbus this weekend. Yeah, it'll be good. So until then, go Crew.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
Chat GTG. I don't remember.
I thought it was GPT.
Broke my brain.
GPT.
It's Chat GPT, but you keep saying GTP.
GTP. Yeah. Which is incorrect, but that's what we say.